Hi everyone, welcome to Jack's Career Chats, a series where we highlight the diversity of jobs, skills, and opportunities in the world of biomedical research. I'm Christina Valianatos. I'm a genomics educator in the Department of Genomic Education at the Jackson Laboratory in Connecticut. Today we're exploring some topics you might not immediately think about when you consider science jobs. I'm joined by Lenae Hoffman, Associate Talent Acquisition Partner with Human Resources at the Jackson Laboratories campus in Sacramento, California. Lenae, welcome, and thank you so much for being here.
Hi, thank you for having me.
So as a recruiter with HR or Human Resources, your role might not be the first thing people think about when they think of a place like Jack's or a science or a research organization, right? But your work really helps bring people to a place like Jack's, and recruiters like you help to shape the talent and the research that happens in the science world. So could you tell us a little bit about what your role is and the types of things that you do here at Jack's?
Yeah, absolutely. So as you mentioned, I'm an Associate Talent Acquisition Partner located at our Sacramento facility. I primarily recruit for our animal care trainee positions. So a lot of our production and operations side of the company. In doing that, it's really great. My job entails, reaching out to the community, reaching out to more so it's an entry level role. So a lot of people who might not consider biomedical research field as a career choice. With this position, there's not a whole lot of experience that is required as much as working experience. So you don't have to have a degree for it. It's a really great career path to be a part of. And then also to just learn about a new industry in general.
That's really interesting. So I personally don't know too much about recruiters and their roles. So you're hiring for one particular type of job, this animal technician job?
Yep. So for myself, I'm hiring for animal care and operations. That's my recruitment role. Sometimes I assist with research assistant positions at our Connecticut location, or even animal care positions in Maine. But primarily, I am a recruiter in Sacramento. The positions out here, it's been such a learning experience for me as well. Not having a science background or a degree in a different field, it's amazing to be a part of a company that is willing to take in people without that knowledge and train them, and to just learn exactly what it is Jax is doing in the field of research and finding cures for diseases, and I feel really proud to be a part of.
So you mentioned that you're coming to this role without a big science background. So what was that like, transitioning to kind of this wide world of science? And you said there was kind of a lot that you had to learn. How was that process for you?
Well, the shock of being hired in general or being even considered, I was like, wow, this is amazing. But I have a really great team that has helped train me and get me caught up to speed in the short amount of time that I've been here. But it's been such a whirlwind. I'm doing research on my own, and especially, during COVID and the assistance that our company is doing with that, it's just been during this time of when there's a lot of, it seems, turmoil and, I guess some insecurity as well. Not sure if that's the right word, but it's just been amazing to just be a part of, learn, and help people find jobs. That's one of the reasons why I got into recruiting. I wanted to help people. It wasn't necessarily the path that I thought it was going to, or it wasn't the initial path that I thought I was going to take. When I was in high school and going into college, it's kind of something I fell into, but I've always known that I wanted to help people. So it's nice that I was chosen to be a part of a company that allows me to continue my passion for assisting people and helping them find jobs, and making a difference in the community. So
Yeah, I mean, and like you said, now in these kind of COVID times where things are really tough and hard, a lot of people have hardships. maybe you feel like your job is doing something good in this world. You're giving people jobs and you're, helping people find fits, and it seems like it's very rewarding.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's the most rewarding part is when you get the excitement of extending an offer, for example. That's my favorite part about the position is the excitement when people are like, oh my goodness, I got thank you so much. And even following up with them later and seeing how they are doing in the position and, seeing growth as you are with the company longer and knowing that, oh, you hired that person. It really makes you feel good and want to, continue with moving forward with recruitment and HR. It's definitely a very fulfilling job that I have, I
It
would say.
sounds like it. It really does. And you can tell your passion for it and your excitement just by hearing how you talk about your job.
Oh, thank you. In addition as well, as far as coming to Jax, I came to Jax with also a background in diversity and inclusion recruitment, and it's been, given the certain times, exciting to share with the company as far as my knowledge of it and forming and working with other individuals who are interested in learning more about D&I within the company or learning more about it in general.
Yeah, so I mean, you mentioned your diversity and inclusion recruitment training. So can you tell me, I would love to know a little bit more about that. So you got special training in order to recruit diverse individuals, or how does that work?
Yeah, so it was a certification program I went through AIRS that I completed about almost a year and a half ago. It's been more helpful in researching different or providing different sourcing techniques. So different demographics, looking at kind of look at the community differently and pay attention to more to who you're reaching out to. I think that Jax, we're at the beginning of a whole new stage in our company with diversity and inclusion, and it's going to be so exciting, where we end up. But as far as recruiting more or recruiting diverse candidates, paying attention to different backgrounds, different cultures, and how we can all come together and promote Jax as a diverse company. I think it's in the next few years, it's just going to be amazing. I'm excited to join the company and be a part of it in this stage that we're in. One of the important things to me about personally when I join a company is the company culture and how I'm going to interact with my peers and how people talk about Jackson. I think that's one of the things that our new hires and new employees and people as they research Jax and want to come and be a part of our company are definitely going to look at is, what we're doing to make a difference in that area. So my training has helped me to just pinpoint, or not pinpoint, but research more about different areas in the community that we are sourcing our candidates from. How can we make our job descriptions more gender neutral? How can we just be a lot more inclusive, and of course being fair in the way that we do recruit and
Yeah,
hire.
absolutely.
So yeah,
That's so important.
and in the short time that I've been here, it's been a very interesting experience nonetheless.
Yeah, the last 2 months have had a lot of ups and downs, but it seems like, things are going in a really positive direction and there's a lot of good changes happening.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's like I said, in the next few years, I'm excited to be with Jax for the long haul. So to see all these positive changes coming into place, it's really great to just be a part of it.
It's such important work, and really, again, I feel like it's another thing that even when people are taking a job, they might not necessarily think about, but you mentioned company culture and, the environment. And so we're often thinking about the job and the tasks and, what am I going to be doing, which of course are very important. Those skills are very important, but it's this broader picture, taking a step back and, what's the environment that you're in, do they support are they supportive? Are they inclusive? And that's, you know, it's shaped by people like you in the role of recruiters. That's wonderful.
Yeah. And the best part is, preparing candidates, whether or not they're coming from another country or, moving from out of state with COVID, will they be working remotely? Being able to maintain that experience of being inclusive and making them new hires feel a part of the company. I feel like that's an important part of a recruiter as well, because we're the initial, contact with reaching out to these individuals and seeing them through the hiring process and helping to provide them with resources, at the end of the day. So it's really, again, it's just really great to be a part of that beginning stage and then to see the end result. Although I've only been here for a short time, I hope the people that I've hired, will be here for just as long, I can look back and say, oh, I hired that person.
Yeah.
So
So we talked a little bit about how, you're not coming from a science background, but of course you have other skills that are very important for this role and to contribute to just how biomedical research gets done. So can you talk a little bit about the experience that has helped you to be successful in your role and the types of things that are needed for a job like yours?
yeah. So I think in general, as far as recruitment goes, you have to be a people person. You have to enjoy talking as well. I think the best things that have shaped me are the people that I've interacted with. The best part about recruitment as well, not just extending offers, of course, but the networking that you get to do is such a pivotal, or it's a very important piece in recruitment. Whether even if it's just a part of the job, sourcing candidates, gaining new insight, to 8 different recruitment practices. I feel like, different companies have their own procedures and policies that they have to abide by, and learning when networking, you get to learn, what practices are outdated, or, what bring back those suggestions to your team, whether it's attending different conferences. The world of HR is constantly changing. It seems there's always new laws or new policies or new procedures that are taking place or being implemented. I think what shaped me is, my foundation. I didn't start out my career in recruitment. I started out in customer service. So I think that helped, being in a fast-paced environment and learning how to interact with people and communicate was the foundation of even starting, or even thinking about recruiting. It was actually one of my, I was applying for a customer service position, and the person who was hiring or interviewing me, I remember looking at him and I was thinking to myself, man, I want to do his job,
That's so interesting.
I want to interview
Another
people.
job gave you perspective, like, for your own career.
Yeah. Yep. And I remember asking him questions, how did you get to where you were? How did you, what steps did you take along the way to get to the job that you are today? And he told me, I ended up not staying with that company. I ended up graduating college and applying to a recruiting position, an agency position. And that was kind of how I fell into it. It was shortly after that job. But it's one of the most defining moments for me of when I decided that recruitment was what I wanted to do. Talent acquisition is such, I honestly love the field that I'm in. I think a lot of people would say that they don't really search for it. I mean, there's definitely individuals that know, like, I want to go into talent acquisition. This was something that I fell into, and it's been the best thing. I've worked in so many different industries, from gaming to hospitality. One of my passions as well is snowboarding. So I got to work in that industry, which was awesome. Whole different animal, but so is biomedical research. So the nice thing about talent acquisition is just it can take you anywhere And that goes with any HR position. I think it's something that's always going to be needed. And I think that it's something that people, you know, I think it's something that companies will always, turn to. Always have a job. I hope, at least that's the goal.
Absolutely. We need jobs. So we need people like you. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I really love what you said about your story of talking to another person that had a job. Like you saw his job and you saw how it talked to you. It really like spoke to you, and you really it really resonated with you and seemed like something that you wanted, and you sought advice from him, right? And so he kind of told you about his own experiences, and you could kind of learn from that. Just perfect. It's exactly what we're trying to do with these career chats, is just, get the perspective of someone in a job and to talk about the roles, and, to kind of maybe inspire someone else to see what they might want to do. So that was one thing that I really liked that you said. And then another thing was just how flexible you were. You kind of observed something, you saw another job, you were in customer service, but then you were willing to shift. And, it sounds like you really had to listen to yourself, kind of have some self-awareness and just see what else was out there and really take the chance and not be afraid to change and to move on.
Yeah, I think that, as you pursue whatever your career might be, I think that you need to always listen to your gut. And, if you have a question, don't be afraid to ask it. One of the things that I wish I had, when I was in high school, I was a part of the Health Academy. So it's probably about the least amount of science background I have, working in hospitals for those that are pursuing nursing. But I remember one of my teachers actually saying, don't be afraid to ask questions. Be, not aggressive, but, be assertive when appropriate. And it's better to ask a question than not, So that's one of the things that I guess also stood out for me, because I feel that if I wasn't a part of that program, honestly, we learned how to develop resumes and experience externships. And, there's a lot of, as far as high schools go, I don't know a lot of high schools in Northern California that have those types of programs. So that was another good fortune I had, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds really beneficial. And it also sounds like even some of those things might kind of, play out when you're looking for talent in your current job, right? So like, what are things that you look for in potential employees? It might be similar things, that people are inquisitive and people, are assertive and they're, kind of showing their interest in that job and that position.
Right. Yeah, I think a lot of, as far as the type of individuals that we look for, to come to Jax, we're looking for people that are enthusiastic and passionate about the research that we do. I think they're also passionate about, we're looking for individuals that are looking or have a willingness to learn more. I think in this type of field, you're constantly learning, right?
Yeah, I mean, just like how you said, HR world, everything changes all the time. Same with biomedical research, right? There's always something new, always a new discovery, and you really have to keep up with it and not lag behind.
Yep. So same goes for human resources. We have to stay up on our certifications. We have to stay up our knowledge, on policies and procedures as they do change. And, with everything else that's going on in the world, it's probably going to change tomorrow, to be honest. So
the flexibility is key.
Yes, flexibility is definitely key, and being able to stay positive and kind of roll with the punches.
Yeah, that's great advice, I think, for anyone, anytime, any industry that can translate always.
Yep, I agree.
Well, great, Lenae. Do you have any kind of parting words for our audience? You gave such great advice and tidbits along the way, so maybe you don't have anything final, but is there anything that you would like to say before we sign off?
I don't think I have anything final, just for those out there looking to start their career path or maybe even change career paths, just do your research and ask questions and stay positive.
That's great advice. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to be with me and to have this interview. And to our viewers, thank you very much for tuning in to this episode of the Career Chats. And don't forget, we have plenty more interviews in our Career Chat series, so please check those out. Until next time, goodbye, everyone.
Thank you.